Welcome to A Toast to Truth. Are entrepreneurs allowed to give up? This is Season 1, Episode 7 with my special guest host, Dana Sidbury, boss chick over at Motivation Marketing Firm. Hey, Dana.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about right there.
So before we get into it, we are going to pop some bubbly. So my celebration today is that even though I wanted to give up, our title is Why Facing Defeat is a Better Option Sometimes. Even though I felt like me walking away from Women Are Game Changers was a defeat, it was really the best option for me personally and professionally and for the audience of Women Are Game Changers. So I feel good that I was able to walk away from a business that people know me for and only wanted to know me for. So what is your poppin' bubbly today?
Well, you know what? I have a funny, it's not a funny thing, but my business, the way that it's structured, it's actually a lot of defeat in it, but it's all in, like anything else, it's all in the way that you take it. So I'll draw from an experience that I just had. And as you stated, I am with Motivation Marketing Firm, the boss chick of Motivation Marketing Firm, and we work with personalities, small businesses, and authors. Well, yeah, we do. Well, I mean, personalities as far as like radio personalities, you got, TV personalities in that respect. But to what it is that you're saying, yeah, you're right. They are personalities. And that's exactly what I had to deal with, in this week. I'm one that I'm very connected. And, some of my clients say, oh, hey, I want to interview such and such, or, hey, can you connect me with such and such? And I did that. But once I did that, that connection was not good enough. The actual person that I connected with was not good enough. So, of course, naturally, I felt defeated because I did what you asked me to do, but it wasn't good enough. And, in this type of business, you always want to give your clients the very best of the best. So, I felt defeated, and I felt a certain kind of way, and I actually took it to heart because, again, this is my business, and it's my baby. So, it's near and dear to me. And when someone says, it's not good enough, that's hard. But you know what? After they said it wasn't good enough, they said that they would go and figure it out on their own. But they were not able to figure it out on their own. And then it was, well, you know what? Hey, let's go ahead and go with that contact that you had. Can you, go ahead and set something up for me? So okay, I was like,
let's take that story that Dana is sharing, because that's actually kind of answering, in a way, the question for today. Are entrepreneurs allowed to give up? So do you think in that situation, you just giving up and walking away from helping your client after you had already, gave them what they wanted, do you think that would have been a good thing, or do you think like you're doing now, you're continuing to keep offering or providing? Which one do you think would be the best for you at that moment?
Well, at that moment, well, I'm one, I don't give up, so I don't even know how to give up. You know what I mean? It was more or less, okay, fine. If you can do it better, show me, please. It was more or less of that.
No, to me, that is a give up. So I'm not talking about giving up as if, I'm never going to do it again. I'm like you said, if you think you can do it better, fine, because then that means you are reserving your energy to work with people who would appreciate what it is you do, and you're going to let those people do whatever they need to do, and if they come back, they come back. So like when we're talking about why facing defeat is a better option, sometimes you know, like you said, you felt a little defeated with your client because you had delivered what they asked for, but it wasn't, quote, unquote, good enough for them.
Right.
So as an entrepreneur, we probably face that at least once a week, you know, where we're feeling like, okay, whatever, you go do it. Like, I give up on you for right now. You know, and we say for right now because if they're our clients, we know we're going to give them everything, but we're not going to subject ourselves to any type of abuse because they want the world, but they only have enough money to go up to Dollar Tree. Like,
okay, now you're talking.
So I'm like, you know, go there and sit for a second. Like when I taught first grade, and kids were mad, I was like, you know what, go to your little circle, go to your little area, do what you need to do, and when you feel like talking to Scranny, correct, you can come back. But until then, you over there, and I'm over here. Keep our distance.
That's right.
But
That's right.
But a lot of people, you know, they feel like if something doesn't go right, I give up, and they do walk away from it forever. And there are instances where you will, because it's not going to be a good fit for your overall vision for your business. And we talked about vision in episode 1. But what people have to understand is sometimes you have to give up stuff if it doesn't fit within that vision. And for you, I mean, your company is Motivation Marketing Firm. For those who don't know, Dana and I have known each other for years. I mean, she helped me through 2 tours, a fusion tour. I used her company. We went from like a business relationship to like a friendship. So Dana is someone that I would definitely say I could trust in the business world. And so I know her work ethic, and I know she's the type of boss chick who's not going to give up, but she's also the boss chick who knows when it's time to kind of let your client walk away, have a little tantrum, and then when they come back, you still sitting there like, I knew what I was doing from the beginning. Like, exactly. Like, are you ready now so we can move on? And so a lot of people, what's crazy is that they feel that would be, you know, I can't do that. I can't let my client walk away, or I can't let go of a product. That's me saying I'm facing defeat, I'm giving up in business, when that's not actually the case itself. I walked away from Women Are Game Changers. I love that business. I started that business from like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, everything I created was like something people were like, I had no idea. You know, the way I crafted Fusion, the way the certain products and how I crafted them, I made them for a certain type of woman. But I outgrew Women Are Game Changers, but the audience wasn't growing with me. And so the best thing I could do was to walk away. And to other people, it may feel like, oh, well, you know, you feel frustrated or upset. And it wasn't that. I was frustrated because I had so much to offer, but the mindset of the particular audience that I had built, they weren't growing as quick as I wanted them to grow so that they could continue to get all of the knowledge that I have to help them in their business. So crazy thing is, guess who now owns Women Are Game Changers?
You do. You stuck in behind that.
No, my mom. My mom bought the business from me.
Even better.
So it's still technically in the family, but I don't run anything related to Women Are Game Changers. My mom is completely 100% in charge. And so she's going to give all of the ladies and a few gentlemen who love that blog what they need. And I'm able to move on and do my own thing. And so, you know, here we are in episode 7 of season 1, closing it out with a really good friend of mine. And this is new. This is the new thing that I'm launching with the new business that I'm launching. And so, Dana, you've seen my entrepreneur journey, and you know, you were there when I'm calling you in a panic about Fusion. And I was like, I just give up. I want to just not do it anymore. You know.
That's right. Yeah, I do remember that. And we talked through it. We talked through that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Mm-hmm.
So at that time, I was facing defeat. And so you, being both an entrepreneur and a friend, tell the listeners how you were able to kind of coax me off the edge of the cliff on wanting to just give up on the tour when it was a great success. But, I mean, just the mental space you have to be in to do something on that scale. So go ahead and just kind of share how you helped me from not taking the nosedive.
Right. Well, here's the thing. You know, being an entrepreneur, it is tough. You know, and the average person does not realize just how much we endure as being an entrepreneur or being a business owner or, you know, being a boss chick. That's first and foremost. So when you call me with the meltdown, you know, I knew I knew that it was something that we needed to talk through for 2 reasons. For one, women are game changers. Was a phenomenal thing, topic, event, you know, option. It's all of those things because women are game changers, and it gave us a platform to be positive about what it is that we're doing and to be okay to say I am a game changer. And it was something that I knew that we couldn't just let you melt down and let you fold. Secondly, But secondly, it's because, you know, it's easy to fold. It's easy to just ball up and say, you know what, I'm not going to do anymore. But being that I know you, we've never physically met. Well, yeah, we have. What am I talking about? We met once.
We didn't meet until I came to Charlotte for Fusion. But, like, we have built a relationship on the phone, online, and then we met when I came to Charlotte,
Yes, but you can feel someone's spirit, and you can feel the dedication, you can feel the grind and all this and that. So I knew that this is not something that you truly wanted to do. We do get defeated. We do feel, you know, that we're not doing the right thing or just the odds are against us. And again, it's easy to fold, but I knew that wasn't the right thing for you to do. Sometimes we have to step back. Sometimes we have to just take a minute to regroup, relax, relate, and release, like Whitney said on us.
Right? On a different world,
Yeah, sometimes we do that. Sometimes we have to do that, and that's exactly what you did. But then you come back refreshed, and you come back with, you know, free eyes or refreshed eyes and say, you know what? I'm not going to let this beat me. I am not going to let this defeat me. This is my purpose, and this is what I know that I'm supposed to do, and this is what I'm going to make happen. And that's exactly what we did with you, Vernetta. And actually, that's what I do with anyone, not even just my clients. Anyone that I encounter, especially if I know in their spirit this is something that they're supposed to do or whatever, you know, the situation is something that they're supposed to do, I tell them, look here, go ahead and fold right now, but don't stay there.
Yeah.
Don't stay there.
And that's a good point because, you know, it's easy to stay in the defeatist mindset because you don't have to do anything. You know, you have to cry, and we're going to cry. Okay, or I'm going to cry. I'll speak for myself. I'm going to cry sometimes when things are hard, but I'm going to eventually get back up, and I'm going to figure out, am I going to keep it or am I not going to keep it? Now, with Fusion, I did eventually, you know, kind of put it on hiatus because I felt that I wanted it to, the audience and I were wanting 2 different things, and I didn't want to give the audience something they didn't want. So I put it on hiatus. But for the 3 years that I had it going, I mean, it was like, you know, a lot of people don't know but I was homeless. Like, if you didn't listen to episode 2, I shared my story about being homeless pretty much the whole time that I had Fusion. So I'm traveling the country. I'm doing all of these things for all of these women, helping all of these women. But when I get back to Houston, I don't have a place to live. And
what?
So yes. And see, a lot of people didn't know that. I didn't really share it. But
no.
But it was like, and that's where a lot of my frustration during Fusion would come, because I'm pouring this money into this event that gets great turnout. I mean, like, literally when we were in Charlotte, there was like no room to walk in the room. You know, it was like elbow to elbow. It was so many women in that space, and I created it for them, but it was like I'm pouring my money into this tour, but I don't have a place to live, you know. So sometimes my frustration with Fusion itself was that, you know, I'm giving, but people have no idea what I'm enduring personally to give them this type of quality event.
You're right. You're right. And that's what you're right. People don't realize, like I was saying, they don't realize exactly what it takes to put these events, to do these services, to deliver these products. They don't realize, all they see is, and I have one of my clients that say, all people see is the cameras flashing, the red carpets, and the backdrop. They don't see every person that said, oh, I'm going to do this, and then when it's time to actually deliver, they haven't done anything, but they show up like, oh, yeah, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity because, yeah, my name was on the flyer, or I was there to do, you know, X, Y, and Z, but they hadn't done anything, but they get credit still. You know, people don't understand exactly what it is that you're enduring, but they see, oh, yeah.
Ghost in entrepreneurship. Like, it's a lot of people who, like, people talk about ghosting and, like, couple relationships or whatever. There's a lot of people who ghost in entrepreneurship. Like Dana just said, they'll say, oh, I'll do this, I'll support you, or I'm going to do this. And then it's like, when it's time to pay the piper, like, for real, I want your money, they gone. Like, you can't, they're not responding to text, email, phone calls, Facebook. Like, when I'm trying to track down money, I will contact you any which way I can.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're not responding, I mean, there have been 2 times, and I know it's only been 2 times where I did not get paid, and I could not get that person. And I just kind of chalked it up to, you know what, it's not going to happen again. That second one, I'll say, it's definitely not going to happen again. And I put things in place to kind of prevent that. But, yeah, I mean, like you said, shoot, when people say they're going to do something and they don't, that comes to the financial toll that that one can endure in this journey of being an entrepreneur. Because when you think about it, you don't have anything to fall back on. Like, neither one of us have a 9-to-5, and we don't have some rich sugar daddy who's giving us money on the fly, or at least I don't.
Right. I don't either. I'm sure looking for one. Call me.
I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you want to give me money, I will gladly take it. But I'm gonna live in my place. You live in your place, and we, you know, can never meet. But I would gladly take your money.
That's right.
But the point I'm trying to make, listeners, is that when you are an entrepreneur, the emotional and the mental toll that it takes on you can be a lot. But the biggest toll is the financial toll, because, like I shared my story about being homeless, it was because I opted to jump full into entrepreneurship. So I slept on people's floors and couches. I slept in my car. I did what I needed to do to build Women Are Game Changers. And I lived with that consequence. I lived with that. And I'm okay with the consequence, because I built up a really good business that my mom is now able to take over. I mean, literally, not even 3 days after we announced that she was going to take it over, we announced it in January, she already had people coming to her saying, can we advertise? Like, she was already getting money offers. So
Yes.
So, you know, I gave her a good platform to go from. And what I want people to understand is that it takes a lot of money. And if you, and not so much a lot of money, but it takes placing your money in the right places in business. And if you know, invest in the wrong people or in the wrong programs or whatever the case may be, you can feel defeated because it's like, that money is gone. I got to figure out how to get that money back so I can go invest in the right person.
Right, so I can keep pushing, right.
And so it can take a toll on you. And so that's what this season is about, everyone. That's what a Toast to Truth is about. I'm bringing my friends on, and we're sharing with you, like, the realities of business.
Being a business owner,
Yeah, it's not like we're giving you, like, 3 tips to go make $1,000 next week. Like, that's all well and good, but honestly, if you are, you know, I know a lot of single moms who are entrepreneurs. And how, as a single mom, do you run a business, but you also have to maintain a household? Because guess what? Your kids can't be homeless because you're pursuing your dream. You know, so I don't know, Dana, if you want to kind of talk about that a little bit, but that's the reality. That's the truth. That a lot of women.
Yeah, that is the true reality of it, and you know, I'm not private about it. My husband, you know, when I started my business, I was married. Actually, did I start it when? Yeah, I was married. But he is now deceased. He will be gone. It'll be 2 years in April.
I can't believe it's been 2 years. Like,
yeah, it is.
It just felt like, you know, it was so recent.
Yeah, it does to me. Exactly. Yeah. it does. But, you know, when he passed, I mean, I got all kind of passes from everybody. Everybody was like, no, don't worry about doing this. Don't worry about doing that. You know, I'll find somebody else to do it. And when I say my clients, you know, they were saying, don't worry about it. Take a minute, you know, to figure it out. I'll be here. I'm still going to pay you. I understand, you know, this, that, and the third. But I said, you know what? My life is happening, but that doesn't mean that your life has to stop along with mine. Please allow me to go ahead and work. And I worked through his funeral. I was in the funeral car negotiating with the radio station for a particular client's event. You know, wow. and I know that I should have probably taken a minute to I guess, you know, regroup with that, but that was my way of handling it. My husband knew the type of person I was. He knew that I loved to work. He knows that, you know, that was good for me, and that was almost like a way of me dealing with life. So I didn't want to stop that. You know what I mean? So, and I didn't. I worked, you know, and then after everything was said and done, I did take a couple days for myself. But now being a single parent, it is tough. It is hard, and it's simply because the nature of my business, I have to be there for my clients. I'm hands-on. So when they are at events, I'm there. You know, and I have, at this moment, I have about 8 clients that I'm maintaining. That's 8 different businesses. That's 8 different personalities. That's 8 different events that they could potentially be doing at one time. So even outside of all of that is a lot. Even outside of that, don't forget, I still have to run my business. I still have to take care of myself. And on top of everything else, I have a 10-year-old son that I have no choice. All my clients can be gone, but my son is still going to be there. So I have to figure out a way to get it all done. He's in school, of course. He needs clothes on his back. He loves to eat meat. We can't eat oodles and noodles. You know what I mean? I have to provide for him. You know what I mean? So it's tough. It's something that you don't have a choice in doing. It has to get done. So, you know, you can't be defeated. You gotta keep pushing, and that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I still do, and I'm going to continue to do.
So we're going to stop to take a sip, and we're going to come back and discuss a little bit more with Dana on that, because I have some questions. But let's go ahead and take a quick sip. If you are loving Season 1 of A Toasted Truth, we want you to listen, rate, share the truth with your online following. Subscribe on my blog, VernettaRSweeney.com, and I do offer truth power sessions to help you find and face a biz obstacle. So let's go back to what Dana was saying before the break. Now, she being a single mom, what I find interesting about your story, and probably that's not the best choice of word, but what I'm saying is Dana was married, and she lost her husband, and all of a sudden, not only did life happen, but the way she had to run her business probably changed as well, because her husband was very supportive. So when you lose someone who supports you, I know he came to different things that you hosted. So when you kind of lose that major support system, especially in business, we have a whole episode on family and business. So for those who have not listened to episode 5, check that one out. But anyway, to go from having that partner who supported you, who encouraged you, to now you become a single mom who's running a very successful business in, Charlotte. And Charlotte is a very good entrepreneur city. So for you, at any point did you kind of think to yourself, like, maybe if I just run away with my son, and start over, that would be an option? Like, did that ever cross your mind? Or did you kind of take a second and say, I'm just going to keep going and I'm going to make the pivots that I need to make so that my son continue to have the life that he was used to before your husband passed?
That's exactly what I did. I took the entrepreneurial route. I didn't say, oh, my gosh, I'm going back to work. I didn't say that. I said, you know what? My clients, they say they're going to hang in there with me. And if anybody knows me, they know that to know me is to love me, and for me to know you is for me to love you back. So my clients, like, they're family. So I knew that they would stick with me, and I knew that I would leave some in the past. And some would leave me and I would leave some, whatever. But I knew that I'm going to have to do whatever it takes so that I can continue to build my business, because this is my passion. Now, I've worked, for the healthcare system here, and, I've had all kinds of jobs, actually. So I thought to myself, okay, if I have to go back to work, then I am going to continue to work with my clients that I have, and I'm going to find something that is in my industry. I will not accept anything less. If that means that we won't have cable, we may have to change the way that we eat, or I may have to miss a couple meals, I can do that because I'm already too big, so that's fine. This was the mindset that I'm in. But I know that, because his dad left, not left, but, he was gone, I know that I did not want him to suffer, if I had any control over it. So my mindset was, I'm going to still provide as best as I can as if his dad was still here. So, and that has always been my goal. Now, we do a lot of scheduling because he plays sports. He plays soccer, he plays football, he plays basketball. So we do a lot of scheduling now, but we make it work. We make it all work, and I got through it. God, he just takes care of me. He has provided, and he continues to provide. I don't want to start preaching, but he takes care of his widows, and that's exactly what he's been doing. And I can't complain. I work that much harder, but, hey, I'm built for it tough. That's what I got to do.
And see, so at that moment, you were facing defeat, like I faced defeat with Fusion. you have that moment. And I'm not saying situations are the same. What I'm saying, listeners, is we all face that moment where, you know, maybe if I walk away, maybe if I give up, this will be the best option. For me, walking away from Fusion Tour and Women Are Game Changers was the best option for me.
Right.
Now I'm able to do things that I feel fit more into the professional business life that I want to have. For Dana, she knew, she only thought about it maybe 1 second, but she knew running her business was her passion, and so she was going to figure out a way how to, you know, not walk away, not throw in the towel, but she kind of gave up certain aspects so that she can run her business in a way that would fit her and her son and the new way that they would have to live life.
That's right.
And what a lot of people need to understand is when you're in business, life is going to happen. For me, boom, I became homeless. For Dana, she lost her husband. And so these are real life situations. Like some people, the worst thing that could possibly happen to them is they lose cable, and for them that could be devastating. But for others out there who are listening, who are facing or have faced big decisions like Dana and I have faced, on our journey, you have to decide, are you going to keep going forward as an entrepreneur, or are you going to go back to your 9 to 5? But that's your choice.
That's right.
You can't let anyone shame you into staying an entrepreneur. And that's what I want people to really get from this episode. Like, entrepreneurship is risky, is challenging, and it's not for the faint at heart. And if you don't think you can do like I did, where I slept in my car, or I'm sleeping on couches and floors, or like Dana, losing a husband, but you're still negotiating for your clients while you're trying to grieve at the same time. If you can't have a resolve within you to keep moving forward despite that big, huge emotional challenge that you're facing, then entrepreneurship may not be for you. And I don't know about you, Dana, but what bothers me is when I see all these people saying, leave your 9 to 5, become an entrepreneur, live the life you want, it's all about freedom. And I'm thinking, freedom from what? You
right. And I think I see those too. I see those too, and one of my good friends and colleagues, she has a lot of coaching and things like that centered around, live your life and live your passion. And I agree with it, but on the same token to your statement and the way that you're going with it, you have to understand that living freely and doing what it is that you want to do comes with a very, very, very hefty price. When I decided I was going to be an entrepreneur and I was going to quit my job, I had a client at that time, and she worked for herself, and she did her own thing. So she was like, "Oh yeah, go ahead and quit your job. You can do it. Everything will be fine. You're built for it. It's fine. It's going to be easy. Blah 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 blah." So when I quit my job, I was like, "This lady is crazy. It is not easy. And why did she lead me to believe that, it's easy to do and I'll be all right and this, that, and the third?" With the first couple years, it was tough. And remember, I was married, so financial issues are the number one reasons for divorce. Now, we were not close to divorce or anything like that, but we did have a lot of strain in our relationship because it was fun. It was a financial drain in the household. We needed that other income, but he was man enough and husband enough, and he believed in me enough to allow me to continue to pursue my passion. And so that's what we did. So when people
I don't mean to interrupt, but you said a good thing because, you know, me being single, sometimes I get frustrated with married women who give all this advice, and I'm like, but you have someone, you know, helping to pay bills. When you're single, right, we're putting money in the business and we're paying our own bills at the same time. But you made a good point that, you know, I may not have even considered that. You said it was a drain financially. Like, even though you still had your husband who was paying the bills at home, you know, when you're running a business, I've had to ask my mom and my sister. I had to ask other people to, you know, kind of loan me money so I can put more money into Women Are Game Changers. And so that didn't, you know, it didn't click to me that sometimes you may have to ask your husband, hey, I need to borrow some household money to the business for a minute. And so, you know, I just want to say that's a point from a single woman's perspective when I would always get frustrated hearing married women give advice. And I'm like, your husband pays your bills. Like, don't talk to me.
Yeah, no, but and see, you know, it depends on the level of the married woman and how she's, you know, how she's handling the situation. Because what I don't know if you missed it, but I did say my husband allowed me to pursue my passion and being self-employed. That's a big statement to a woman that is, you know, as headstrong as I am. But on the same token, when you have two incomes and you're married, what's yours is his and what's his is mine, yours. You know what I mean? And it has to work that way. So I had to ask him what he thought about that. I had to consider him when I made that decision, and it had to be in agreement with both of us. I couldn't just say, you know what, I'm quitting my job today, so deal with it. It wasn't that. You know what I mean? I had to really, and it took a lot of me because I'm so used to being this boss chick and this, you know, I run my own stuff and I pay my own bills. So that in itself took a lot for me to do. And he said, you know what, honey, go ahead. I see your passion. I see your drive. And I know that out of anything, you're not proud. You're not too proud to say, listen, I need some help. Go to family members, or I'll go to family members, but we will make it work. And that's what we did.
And so that was a great point because, you know, I don't want to say I got put in my place today because as a single woman, I just always got annoyed when married women would say something. I'm like looking at them out the side of my face like, please don't talk to me about, you know, money issues when you have someone who can pay your bills. But you brought up a good point. And so I'm not gonna say that to anybody else. I'm a
but honestly, truth be told, like a lot of women won't admit, but they pay their own bills and you know, they split stuff half and half. And truth be told, you know, no shade, a lot of these women taking care of their husbands. I mean, I'm just saying, don't shoot me, but that's truth be told. So, but everybody's situation is different, though. Everybody's situation is different, but don't feel a certain kind of way, Vernetta.
Yeah, I'm a regroup and change my perspective on that. But no, I mean that was that's a big deal. You know, just the financial part of running a business is a big deal. And when you're single, you know, having to choose between paying mortgage or paying for something for your business, but, you know, you can't call anyone else to kind of cover your mortgage, it does lead to a lot of frustration. It does lead to some emotional turmoil because you're like, yeah, I want a place to live, but, yeah, I want a business, you know, and why should I choose just because I'm single, one or the other? Why should I have to choose? And so that in and of itself is a huge topic of discussion between all of my single entrepreneur friends and I about, you know, we're kind of tired of hearing married women. You know, like that may be an episode for season 2. If y'all want to hear a season 2 of A Toast to Truth and you want that particular episode where single entrepreneur, you know, I don't want to say versus married, but, you know, our perspectives on the finances coming into your business and into your household with one versus 2 income. I think that would be a great discussion because, you know, it does. And, you know, I have friends who now, after being in business 10 years, they they have enough where it's like they have two incomes coming in. Like they've worked, but again, that was 10 years. 10 years of doing all kind of things to survive to get to the point where they could have the finances as if they were married. You know, and these are my single entrepreneur friends. So that whole, you know, why facing defeat is a better option sometimes is real, because sometimes you have to look at it. You know, every year I look at my the money I spent with my accountant, and she'll let me know, like, oh, you may not want to do this next year, or you may want to raise the price. I think this is good. Just raise the price. So when people are like, oh, you raised your price, please talk to my accountant.
That's right. That's right.
Because she knows my numbers, and she knows what I need to bring in order to keep things floating, you know, sustaining. And so that's what another thing. So when I walked away from Fusion, when I walked away from Women Are Game Changers, it wasn't so much a big financial decision as it was I just outgrew it, and I didn't want to continue to pour into something that I felt just because others expected me in that position, I needed to stay in that position.
Right. And you have to make that decision with yourself, and you have to realize that I'm making this decision for the betterment of myself, not necessarily because I feel defeated or because I'm going to lose or withdraw or, you know, whatever. You have to realize why you're making that decision. And I think ultimately, Vernetta, you know, you did what was best for you. So you were not defeated. You actually won.
Thank you. Because I feel, I always tell people, I feel like towards the end of Women Are Game Changers, or me keeping Women Are Game Changers, I just felt so heavy. I felt like, you know, I had to do, because other people only saw me in that spot, you know. And then I thought about it, and I was like, but I knew when I started Women Are Game Changers, I knew I wasn't going to keep it forever. And that's one tip.
That's right.
It doesn't even have, I don't know if it has anything to do with our topic, but it's a tip I want everyone to get. When you start a business, you need to know how you want it to end. Do you want to sell it? Do you want to turn it over to a family member? Do you want to keep it forever? You have to know how you want it to end. And I knew when I started Women Are Game Changers, I was not going to keep it. I knew that.
Right.
So when I remember that, that's when I would say I can walk away because I'm okay, because I knew why I started it. I know who I started it for, and I knew I wasn't going to be the torch bearer forever. So when you have a business, you have to know how you want it to end. And that may seem weird to some people, like, why are you planning the end? Because if you know the end, you'll be able to really make it through that journey.
Right. That's right. You said it.
So I'm going to wrap up with a quick saying before we give our final toast. So listen up, listeners. Walking away rather than trying to prove others wrong about your business is an option you may have to consider. But walking away or making a pivot, if looked at as a positive, could lead to a breath of fresh air for your business. So I want you to think about it. Sometimes you may have to walk away or pivot, not just, make a little change here or there. But sometimes you have to do it, and you can't let what others think about your decision affect the decision that you have to make for yourself. So now for our final toast. Okay, so my final toast from today's episode is, as a single woman entrepreneur, I can't judge married women entrepreneurs based on the fact that I think they have two incomes, and that one income is solely for the home and one income is solely for the business. So that was kind of like my takeaway today, is to not judge other people based on my reality. I'll put it that way. So what's your final toast, Dana?
My final toast is don't give up. Realize what the actual defeat is and how it can actually benefit you. Everything is not always a loss. Sometimes it is a blessing in disguise, and you just don't realize what that blessing is until after your storm is over.
Oh, that's good. That's really good. Well, this is the end of season 1 of A Toast to Truth with Vernetta Arfreni. That's me. And I've been chatting it up with my friend Dana, boss chick, about not looking at defeat as failure, but an option so your business can continue to move forward and the consequences we've encountered. That's it for season 1. Join us for season 2. Please join us for season 2.